to the Bitcoin globe, day 1267. We are counting the days down until the next Bitcoin halving. Have some exciting pieces for you today in the news. There's a short video that I'll link to from the Coinbase VP. Don't know his name. Should know his name. I'll follow him on Twitter. And there's a video of him on CNBC. The title's Fending Off the Doubters. Bitcoin volatility down, transaction and merchant adoption up. And yeah, so I'll link to that video. And one of the comments is, this is from Reddit, a comment from Reddit. So just so I'm following, checking the charts, Bitcoin is up 17% for the month, 40% in 6 months, 125% in a year, 287% in 2 years. If those numbers are correct, that is quite the increase, and it seems to be accelerating. The price increases seem to be accelerating. The reverse bubble, the actual value of Bitcoin, could come into existence in 2017. Right now, we're still very low. There's an article by Forbes that's interesting. I'm still reading it, but I wanted to share it with you. Gold and silver has been repressed. Bitcoin bringing transparency to gold markets. That's actually a headline I wrote. The Forbes one is, what is one of the world's largest derivatives exchanges doing with Bitcoin? And I think it was more of like a sales pitch in this article, like they're trying to sell her token, which is allegedly based off gold, and it's the London Mint or something like that. I'm gonna have to reread it. But what I did find interesting at the article is the link to the iTunes show that she's on, Unchained. I've never heard of Unchained. I'm going to go Uber driving right now and listen to every single one of the episodes. That's going to be great for me. That's the great thing about Uber, is putting on like an audiobook or a podcast where I can actually educate myself. So while I'm earning money, debt-based, slave-based money, I'm still able to educate myself in the Bitcoin space and provide you guys with some updated information. So I'm going to link to the Forbes article, the Coinbase video from Reddit. These are all from Reddit, really. And the Unchained in the iTunes store. You can find it other places, I'm sure, but I'll link to the iTunes store. That's where I'm going to be listening to it from. My closing thoughts here is, if you're backing a cryptocurrency with a physical item, does not that item need to have a private key engraved on it as well, so it completes the cycle, it closes the loop? And if you're leaving that physical item with somebody else, they have access to that private key. This is probably maybe complete nonsense, but I'm not sure. I would like maybe somebody that could explain it to me, like how you could back a digital item with a cryptocurrency, or you could back a cryptocurrency with gold or something without, like, if I had a chunk of gold and I engraved a private key onto that chunk of gold, then I would feel like it's backed by it, right? Maybe I'm not. And maybe that's why the dollar wasn't a good device for backing gold, because you couldn't close the loop with proving that that dollar belonged to that piece of gold. I'm not sure how it worked, but if you're able to put a private key on an ounce of gold and then back that to the cryptocurrency, I think that would work, in my opinion. Or I wouldn't mind if I could put like a very small private key into my ring, so that this ring is backed by a private key. Or now that would be interesting, and that's what I'm talking about, this high-tech jewelry. If you're able to engrave private key into this jewelry that only I'm able to access, like maybe there's some USB, instead of like this big old USB device, maybe there's a smaller one that's like engraved in gold and has a little cap I could put on it to keep it safe, like a really cool cap, and then I could plug that in, and that would be my private key with the same security as this. That's some high-tech jewelry. That's something people will want to invest in when Bitcoin goes up to billions of dollars and they have excess money. They're going to want to have items that are backed by private keys and preferably on the Bitcoin blockchain, the biggest and strongest blockchain. that's it for this video. I appreciate your comments. I'm developing my thoughts here. I'm evolving each day, studying the Bitcoin space. I appreciate any Bitcoin tips or Ether. I saw, I'm not sure how I feel about Ether. I still think if it goes up, I'm going to trade it for Bitcoin. That's just what I've done in the past. Is as soon as Ether starts to go up, I trade it back for Bitcoin. But that's how I'm playing the game, and maybe I won't do that. It depends. Maybe who knows? Ether could reach $100 this year. We could see some useful apps, but I'm still think Bitcoin is the one and only ring to rule them all for now. If I was gonna have a digital token backed by gold, I'd want my Bitcoin backed by gold. So I'd want my Bitcoin private key inscribed on like an ounce of gold, so that my Bitcoin is also backed by an ounce of gold. That one Bitcoin will always be backed by that ounce of gold, or something like that. The gold couldn't be split up, but the Bitcoin could, which would be interesting unless you were able to somehow lock in that Bitcoin so that it wasn't divisible. I'm not sure how you do that. These are advanced thoughts here. Hope you guys have a great day. Feel free to ask questions, like, subscribe, enjoy your day most of all. Drink lots of water, meditate. Meditation is great for you. It's great for everyone. It's great for this planet. So is Bitcoin.